Check. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Vader Games in the building. You know what it is. Another episode of Vader Games TV. Why Always Me? Episode 85. We're at episode 85. Let me do this properly. First things first. My peoples come first. And my peoples, those of you on the stream right now, those of you watching on a replay, and those of you that have been in the comments, words of encouragement, interacting, thank you so much. It is a fantastic day out here in Toronto. Weather's nice. Sundresses are out. It's that time of the season. So I'm thankful for all of you tuning in. I got to do things properly. And you know what we're going to deal with. We're going to deal with all those topics there on the screen. I know the City lost against Brentford. That was almost a week ago. We're going to touch on it slightly. No injuries. We're going to deal with that. We're going to go over a few things that we kind of kicked off this year and go into some detail about. And on top of that, you see this. Need this FA Cup win. Oh, not only do I need it, we need it. We need this FA Cup win for a lot of reasons. We need it. So I'm going to get into that. I got to do the proper intro. You know where I rep from. If you ever get a chance to visit, make sure you check out this beautiful city called Toronto and this beautiful country. And if you happen to be in town, City fan or not, let's link up. Here we go. Why always me? Why always me? Manchester City, this winning culture has been fantastic. You can't deny it. You can't ignore it. It's also led us to what we're now experiencing, witnessing historical moments. Only one club in Premier League history has ever three-peated, and we've now matched that. It's historical times. This winning culture, look what it's breeding. Look what it's leading to. And then we got two finals. FA Cup this Saturday, Champions League the following Saturday. I need this FA Cup first. I'm going to explain why. But before we get into it, I got to shout out, I got to recognize those who are supporting Vader Games TV from the jump. Who's in the comments first this week? Who's repping? Let me make sure I get that. Let me go to the comments. First, out the gate, out the blocks. FPL GOAT. What it do? Hopefully, the players didn't get drunk last night. FPL, got it. Don't worry about that. These players, this manager, he's got them lined up. There's no over drinking. There's no celebrating. Back to business. When you succeed, when you accomplish one goal, it's important to recognize it because that's what charges up the battery. That's what reminds you why it's all worth, sacrificing what you do sacrifice to be competitive, to be at your best. It's key. The players are going to be ready. Dudley in the building. Hi, Vader, my guy. Dudley, we're going to get into this one. We're going to get into this. And I don't know if you've noticed, Dudley, but I've been doing my best. These shows, they're structured, but I'm also trying to be wary of the flow, of the timing of it, right? I know I can ramble, but I'm being better at that, Dudley. I hope you recognize it. My guy, Daniel Vader, with back-to-back streams, love the grind. My guy, I had to make up. Usually CIA falls on the Sunday. Work, family kind of messed things up, but I had to get back into it. Season's over. We had to do week 38. Now we're back with Why Always Me. And City fans, you know where that inspiration came from. DC, hi Vader, man, your intro tune is such a vibe. Listen, I want to go back to it. My 11-year-old son has said, Daddy, he's promised to make a beat for me. And I'm gonna have something to that level and better. Trust me. DC, congrats on the 85th episode. Thank you, man. Thank you. We've been at it. And I hope every episode's gotten better. I hope the content has been good. And I'm gonna do this, DC. I'm gonna be doing this because I'm gonna go back and see what my vibe or energy was like at the kickoff, at the start of the season. I want to go reflect. I don't know if you saw the last CIA episode. Those of you in the chat, if you missed the last CIA, I talked to a few features. I had Klilnical, I had Mancunian Way, and I had Pitch Points, Gundalorian on, and I asked when was their weakest weakest moments within the season. I want to go back. I'm going to go back, not for you guys to do. I'm going to go back and kind of check out certain episodes and see, what was my energy like? What was my tone like? Because a couple of these guys were like, nah, they've been calm. Everything's been chill. They were at their weakest in August. In August. Nah, man. So we're going to go back to it. Thanks, though. Daniel, let's get that FA Cup. We can banter United all we want, but it's football and football. Oh, but it's football. And football told us over the years, then football is a humbler. Football is a humbler. I agree. So focus for the first, second to the last. Oh, focus from the first second to the last second. I like that. Two flames in the blue heart. Daniel, this is it. And I've seen you've been consistent with this. You've been saying 110%. This is what it is, man. What's in front of us? We're focused on what's in front of us. The same way, this is this law of the jungle, law of the wild. You eat what you kill, right? And you don't, I'm gonna pass on this prey because I'm gonna eat later. No, you eat now. You win now. You win what's in front of you right now. We got the FA Cup. There's no, I'm looking at that. No, you deal with this first. Because the winning culture, like I mentioned, the winning culture is you win. You continue, at the very least, you compete to win. There's no guarantees on winning. But this, afford to not really you got to play to your level at FA Cup. Whether you win or not, you got to play to your level. That's what brings consistent winning and this winning culture that we have. DC says, love Toronto. I visit the family there and in Kitchener and Brampton. Yo, okay, you're out on the west. You're out on the west. I got good friends. I actually got good friends out in Brampton. And if you happen to come into town around August time, that's Caravana weekend. Although, no, they don't call it Caravana anymore. Caribbean Festival, I think, is how it's called now. But great times. Dre P still always wanted City to win all 3 trophies after reaching so far. But don't let any haters tell you that this is not a successful season, regardless of what happens from here. Dre P, I'm with you. Whatever nets out, they're going to try to banter us. They're going to try to minimize how good of a season was. 3-peat is never easy. And who we had to kind of beat, the level that they were playing at. I think they would have maintained, honestly, I think Arsenal would have maintained that level had the pressure not reached them. Because we all know this. Performance is one thing. When people start watching you, when you're under the bright lights, when you have a large audience, when there's now an expectation for you to continue winning, some people buckle. I think that's what happened to Arsenal this year. I'm going to bring my man, Klilnical, in the building. How you doing, Klilnical? What's good?
I'm doing good, and these topics look great. I'm very excited to get into that.
Yeah, man.
Thoughts on a lot of these.
All right, we're going to get into it. I see you in the comments, DC. One game at a time, first cup, then the CL. Trust me. And I see you in the comments. Let me shout out my guy, Big Morgan, in the building. City to be joyous against the Rags, 3-0. I'm not mad at that scoreline. 3-0. I'm not mad at that scoreline. We'll get into it. Daniel goes, Vader, I've started to study fluent UCL. I need to be ready for Istanbul. Trust me. Get your notebooks. Put in that study time. Pay attention to detail. Go over your notes. Daniel, trust me. You and I, we're gonna be talking fluent CL. We're gonna be the Rosetta Stone for some of these other fans that don't quite speak it. Right? We're gonna be ready. Trust me. We'll be there. Now, you see the topics, and I know Klilnical. I know the Brentford game was time ago now, right? In the world that we live in now, what's happened almost a week ago, that's old news. But I want to stress this, and you correct me if I happen to be wrong on this, or if you happen to agree. I didn't want the season to end with a loss. I didn't want that. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. If it was a draw, cool, because that kind of keeps the winning or non-defeat streak going, right? But I'm gonna say this: if I couldn't get the win, then I would have wanted a draw. Because I couldn't get the draw, I'll take the loss with no injuries. And the no injuries is a win. Do you happen to agree with what happened with regards to Brentford and how we came out of there?
So I do agree in the fact that I much would have preferred a win to close out the season strong, and especially we haven't won since that Chelsea game going into this FA Cup final. So it would have been good that the game just before it we could have gotten into a little bit of a warmer streak
Okay.
and go in with a little bit more momentum. But it didn't matter. That's the main thing for me. Like the game, the fact that we lost the game is irrelevant in my opinion, because I don't think the players will feel too hard done by the result in itself and the fact that we left the game without any injuries. So
Mm,
I think we could then focus on looking at the positives that we gathered from the game than the fact that we didn't win the game.
okay. Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. And uh, let me add on to that too, because I think had it been these players that were part of that loss to Brentford, I'm not sure if you're able to see that on screen, but I think had it been these players, then there would have been the, oh, there would have been
Exactly.
that kind of. I didn't like what I saw, but let's all remember it was nowhere near this 11 that Pep decided to put out there, right? So I'm saying we got a chance to see, and I'm kind of stealing a points later in the topics, but we got a chance to see Cole Palmer. We got a chance to see Phillips. We saw Gomez, obviously Alvarez and Foden. Um, all in all, I'm gonna take the result for what it was because again, it wasn't this 11, and we came out of there with no injuries. I think that's a plus. Um,
So the only players from this team that started the game were Ake, Kyle Walker, and Ederson.
yes, yes.
And the what they were working with in terms of the rest of the team was very similar to who started against Chelsea. And we didn't have the best of games in that one either.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't think going into the game, we obviously didn't consider that game a must-win game, or I think we would have prepared for it differently. And
I agree.
with that in mind, I think that when these that none of these players are affected by that result. Grealish doesn't care that we lost to Brentford. KDB doesn't care. Bernardo
Right.
doesn't. So I think when if any of those players that did play in that Brentford game were to be featuring in that FA Cup game, like Alvarez or Foden or Mahrez, whether it's off the bench or they start, then I do think that with the rest of the team, this team around them, they'll completely forget that the Brentford game even happened. Big up DC
Yeah.
in the chat.
Yeah. Large up DC. I see Alex in the building. Alex goes, "How do you predict our form will be? I hope we're not a little rusty." Alex, I don't think there's going to be any rust. And the reason why is because it's United. It's because it's United. There's not going to be rust against these guys. These guys are going to be dialed in. I think if anything, Pep's going to be telling them, just execute. Just execute. Don't get into this is a derby type energy, or don't try to do more than what you usually do. We These players probably all still hate what happened at Old Trafford. That fraudulent whack. I don't even understand non-decision with regards to that offside. These players are going to have something to prove, so I think it's just a matter of them being dialed in. And I is this the 11? Many would say yes. If Pep were to choose this 11, I got no problems with it. If Pep were to put in Foden instead of Silva, I got no problem with it. If Pep were to put Foden and move Silva into the midfield and take off Gundogan, I got no problem with it. If Ake were to be subbed out for Akanji, I got no problem with it. Um, I think it's all calm in that regard. If Pep even went so far as to take off Grealish and to start Foden, I got no problem with it. Where I'm at with what the manager decides at this point in the season and what I've been able to, the confidence, the trust that I've been able to get from these players, I'm going to say it again. I got no problem with it. Whatever manager does, I got no problem with it. Not with it, with it. I got no problem with it. Let me go to the comments. Let's see. We got DC goes. I agree with Dre P. We got a three-peat, and that is an epic achievement. Don't let any anti-city elements downplay it. Nah, I'm with you. I'm with you. And Daniel goes, exactly, 100% focus. No one will gift us a potential trouble. We need to fight and die on the pitch to win these two trophies. This is going to be a fight, no doubt, and we can fight them with precision. We can fight them with tactical excellence and knowing all the pressure points, all the things that United aren't comfortable doing. And when we really want to take a step back and deep it, many of the things that United don't like to do, playing out from the back, pressing, we're accustomed with it. We in some instances invite it. United, that's not their thing. That's not their thing. I don't see any instance where they are when they press us. I don't see any instance where they themselves are going to encourage playing out from the back, which we're most likely going to try and dictate onto them. And let's see whether De Gea has his passing boots on, is what I'm gonna say. Man, I got to chill. I don't want to do a preview just yet. I got there, and yeah, let me. So, Charlie, why are people disrespecting the FA Cup? Charlie, I don't know all the comments you're coming across. If you are coming across where people are disrespecting the cup, that's onto them. They don't all value it the same way. But I think if you have a trophy in front of you, and you have a trophy in front of you, you can't disrespect it. You can't dishonor it. You go and play for it. You go and win it. These clubs that say bigger fish to fry weren't focused on that. They only say that after the fact. They only say that after suffering a loss. It's not like they don't play to win it. So I think we keep this winning culture going. We go after this FA Cup. I think it speaks a lot. These players know this attempt at history. They don't happen every year. Like there's a reason why we've been so good the last few years in terms of how we've been able to win the league and some of the points we've been able to garner. But the ability to win a treble doesn't happen like that. So go talk to a Liverpool fan and say how much they regret missing out on one of those trophies and whether they think they're going to be back at that level again. It doesn't happen like that. There's no disrespect here, Charlie. You know that. We're after it. Um, Abdallah, what's up, Vader? My guy, yo, my guy, we good. We good. What you got to say? He goes, you need to be you need to be more LL. He's got headphones, egg, and shades, streams, and hangout Vader. I'm trying to get the emojis, but I do need to. I I, I do need to be more present on or are you saying LL's channel? No, 100%, man. And the timing kind of gets to me. But summertime vibes, or should I say, post FA Cup, post UCL. Trust me, you, me, a lot of us are going to be on HH's channel. We're going to handle the business. Blue, yes, yes, General. What's going on, my guy? Thanks for being on the show. What's Straight P got to say? At Charlie, I for sure am not disrespecting any competition, but to be honest, City has won FA Cups before. Doing something you have not done before is always extra special. JP, I'm with you, and I think if the scheduling was different, the fact that it's a week later and the fact that these players do play at their best with rhythm and they do play at their best when the competition is fierce, I don't think you can go into the FA Cup half-hearted. I don't think you can go into FA Cup without being totally laser focused and dialed in. It doesn't bode well for the next competition you're in. Like you don't just turn it on. That's not how it works. Like to be at your peak, to be at your best, you stay ready, right? You stay ready, and staying ready is playing good football in the FA Cup. My peeps, what up? Talking to each other. Ortega, Charlie. I don't know. I don't know if Ortega's going to start. Maybe I'm crazy here. I know Peps has given commitments to keepers, but I think the fact that Ortega has played in league play right? He's had games in league play. I think Pep gives it to Ederson for the FA Cup. I actually hope he gives it to Ederson in the FA Cup. Clinical. I need Ederson's footwork in the FA Cup, man. I need it. What about you?
Honestly, I've gotten to the point where I genuinely trust Ortega. So either one that Pep goes with, I'm not mad at it. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking there are areas of his game. I think Ortega is a slightly better shot stopper than Ederson,
I'll give you that. Okay.
general. But again, that is a debate to be had because Ederson has stepped up his shot stopping this season as well. And in
Mm-hmm.
terms of distribution, Ederson is the better one with the ball at his feet, but Ortega is underrated in that, in my opinion, because I have
Yeah.
seen him play in a different aspect to Ederson, but it still works, and the team adapts to it when Ortega is the one that's playing. And
Ooh,
that being
I
said,
know.
he does
I
have his
know.
shaky moments, but I trust him. I genuinely do. And I think
No,
this one-off
yeah.
game, he should be able to get us that win still.
I think so. Yeah, I think we get the win with Ortega. I believe Charlie. I'm with you. I, Ortega starting. I'm still confident that we win. But when we got Ederson, what we do is different, man. There's a different calmness when we're in possession, and or when one of their forward players tried to press and cause us to play out from the back. There's just I I would be mad. I would be smiling from ear to ear. I'd be grinning if I saw Ederson at keeper because of the ball distribution. But if it happens to be Ortega, calm with it, Charlie. I am calm with it. Daniel goes, just look at what Pep, Diaz, Walker, Ederson said in recent days about these two finals. I have no doubt in my mind that Pep and the players are 110% focused and won't underestimate anyone. I'm with you. Daniel, I'm with you. They're dialed in, they're ready. They know what they know what winning the FA Cup, which makes it a double, means moving forward. And they also know what heat they know the heat that comes with it, right? You win that FA Cup, there's a different level of here's how they're writing about you. Here's how they're talking about you, right? All eyes are now, will City do what only Manchester United were able to do within the Premier League? Yeah, one game at a time. Daniel, I'm with you. One game at a time. Charlie, Foden has a chance of starting Pep. May see that he has rhythm and better suited to play United. True. If Charlie, if he does, calm. Foden plays, I'm calm with it. I just, again, I want everyone healthy. If there's any, like anything with regards to how you feeling, how's your ankle, how's your knee, how's your hamstring. If there's any, don't start them. Let's make sure that maybe sub them on, but don't start them. Let's make sure that we get everybody so no one gives a for the Champions League. That's what we want. JP, I also think City should not need to have their absolute best 11 to win either game. What they need is to play to their full potential. Two, three players out should not be the end of it. JP, again, I don't think we need our absolute best. I don't think we need our absolute best 11 like what we showed against Real Madrid. I don't think we need that. However, I would rather us again, start the best players to suit what Pep wants to do 100% and move from there. So, yeah, I'm cool with it. Blue, I heard when Man United won their trouble, they drew and lost the final two Premier League games. Oh, see, Blue, a lot of people do that kind of like, yo, Clinical, you know how they do that kind of like comparison? Like back in 2015, so and so also did this on their way to doing that. And, we're mirroring it because Arsenal fans kept telling us, oh, when City lost in the Europa, that was the year that they beat United to their first Premier League. Like Arsenal fans kept reminding us of that. I'm like, okay, that doesn't then mean you're gonna do it. But Blue, I hear you. We don't need to stress those two games that how we close out the season. We don't need to stress. We played it completely like a very very different 11, and it was calm, man. That game was calm. Daniel, I don't think Ake is a guaranteed starter. Walker deserves and will start because of Rashford's pace. Akanji also deserves to start. and is well rested. Daniel, whichever way they go, calm settings. Calm settings. Charlie wants to remind me, wants to tell me spot on, Vader. I must have said something brilliant earlier. And it's since I said something brilliant, do what you gotta do. Find that hand, find that thumbs up, hit that thumbs up. New, hit that subscribe button. And again, pass this on. City fans or not, pass this on. I'm creeping, I'm creeping, I'm creeping, and I'm creeping, and I'm creeping to 400 subs. If you know the reference, let me know in the comments. Now, FPL GOAT goes 7-0. Carson times 3 on. Oh my goodness. If we happen to do that, I'm with it. Charlie, you say that for every game FIFA. Let's be realistic. Charlie's calling you out. All right, let me put a star there so I get back to the comments. But I want to do this. And I'm gonna let me take this off screen because we don't need that right now. And let me put up where is it? Is it this? Yeah. Is that showing up well? Let me see. Here. How does that show up for you guys on the screen? You see players. No, you don't see players. You see the predicted score. So I got to adjust something here. Sorry, bear with me. I don't know why I didn't have that earlier. All right. Let me do it again. Okay. So you see what I got there. And this is something that I had pretty early in the season. For those of you kind of like the day ones, you knew, Vader trying to do his thing with regards to some of the content, you would have come across this early. And if you're not, you're seeing it kind of like for the first time. But what I had here was Vader Games TV viewer chat involved with us saying, you know what? Last season, 99 goals. And we were, I think I might have said we're going to get 110 this year. Then the blistering, ridiculous start of Holland scoring hat tricks and and Foden hat trick at the Etihad, and we were just scoring goals. We were like, we might have to revisit this. So I think we went from 110 based off of how we were moving, and and we predicted. Let me see if it's here on the screen. Let me see if you can see that. We predicted 120 goals. We predicted 120 goals. Let me move here. So, and we said that there were going to be, 120 goals at the date. At the time, only 65 goals were scored. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we had 10 games to go. We had 10 or 12 games to go at this point in the season. And I was like, are we just going to go into overdrive and essentially double up on what we just did? So, long story short, last year, 99 goals scored. This year to date, we've scored 94 goals. Okay? We've scored 94 goals. Let me see if I can put this on screen. Because, can I do that? Oh, man. Oh, my bad. This is, okay, hold on. Let me do this. Move that. Premier League stats. Does that work? Yeah. All right. Okay. So 2022, 2023, this past season, I'm going to move this up. Doesn't show, it's not showing well, but you kind of get the gist of it. All right. Well, obviously, we played 38 matches, 28 wins. We had 5 losses, 94 goals scored, 33 conceded goals, 13 clean sheets. Okay. Keep that in mind. This is year one. Alvarez, Holland, second year, obviously, with Grealish. Year one, Calvin Phillips. Year one, Akanji, Pep, inverted system. Look at what we did year one. Okay. I don't like the conceded goals. And I don't like the clean sheets either. I don't like that. Okay. But let's remember those numbers. Remember those numbers. Now let's look at what we did in the 2021-2022 season. Let me change that real quick. Okay. One more win. Last year we had 20, or this season we had 28 wins. Last year we had 29. This year we had 5 losses. Last year we had 3. This year 94 goals. Last year 99. And look at the goals conceded, right? We had 33. We conceded 33 goals last year, if I'm correct. Let me go back to that. Yeah, we conceded 33 goals last season. This year, we conceded 26, and we had 21 clean sheets. So we scored more goals, conceded less goals, and had more clean sheets last year. This is year one. Klilnical. This is year one. Holland, Alvarez, inverted system. We won the league, but the numbers all dropped, right? The numbers all dropped. Now, when I say the numbers dropped, 1 less win, 2 more losses, you know, 5 less goals scored, 7 more goals conceded. This is year one, and we did this to earn a three-peat. I know players are going to be exiting. I shouldn't even be Klilnical. I shouldn't be doing this right now. I shouldn't, because I'm getting into what we'll do next year. I shouldn't even get there. You chat. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop because I can't be talking about what we're doing next. But I can't help it when I look at this. Last year, this is what we did last year. This is what we did this year. This is what we did this year. I potentially Silva, potentially Gundogan are leaving. Does that influence us not be as sound defensively? Does that influence us not being the goal scorers that we are? I I don't know, but it's a great problem to have. I think there's so much potential there. Sorry if I'm a little excited. I'm Dan, Daniel, one game at a time. FA Cup, focus on this year, 2022, 2023. They'll be thinking about 2023, 2024. Let me fall back. Klilnical, I'm going to fall back. I'm going to relax. Let me put a pin in that. Everyone, remember that. Okay? What we will talk about next season is very promising. Okay? I'm going to save that content from another time. You kind of see where I'm going with it. But year one, with those players, great result. Let me go to the goal scored. Let me put that on screen here. Do we go? Is it stats? No. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go to the goal scored first and foremost, and we should be doing this by team. So squad. And yeah. All right. So we're gonna do goal scored, and I should take this off screen. I'm all over the place. Forgive me. I'm gonna go back and put this to this. You guys need the Excel. Where is that? There we go. All right. Okay, I'm gonna put this back on screen. Sorry for the delay. But we had the updated predicted goals. Ederson, we had no goals for Ederson. Kind of made sense. Maximo Perrone, no goals expected to him. He just joined. Calm. Luque Mbete, same thing. Joshua Esperan, we understand. Kyle Walker, did we expect goals from Kyle Walker? No. Ruben Diaz, we predicted 2 goals for Ruben. Ruben ended up with no goals this year. Okay, no goals for Ruben. We ended up predicting 3 goals for John Stones. John gave us 2 goals. Even before, or the last time I did this, John hadn't scored a goal. So Let's give John 2 here because he scored 2 within the league. This is all just league related. Um, and then we had Nathan Ake. We predicted 2 for Nathan Ake. Nathan gave us 1. He suffered an injury. He only gave us 1. He could have given us 2. I'm talking league play. So you can see, listen, we got intelligent people on Why Always Me Video Games TV. We got intelligent. You got my man Klilnical. You normally have, Pitch Points, True City Fan, Mancunian Way, doing our old goal prediction. Those of you in the chat and in the comments, you know what I'm saying? We worked these predictions together. We predicted 3 for Stones. He gave us 2. We predicted 2 for Nathan. He gave us 1. We know what we're talking about here. This is next level thinking here. So we're good with this one. Cancelo, we predicted 5. Cancelo's no longer, or he was sent out on loan. You see him, he's no longer here. And we had put, to date, he gave us 2 goals. So we're going to leave it at that. Rico Lewis, I think Rico's a little lower on the list. We didn't expect any goals from Rico. Nah. Actually, did I even have Rico on here? Ooh, that's terrible of me. I didn't have Rico on here, but he didn't contribute any goals. Laporte, we predicted 2 goals from Laporte. Laporte didn't deliver again. He didn't get that playing time. It is what it is. Didn't give us any goals. Calvin Phillips, we were right to predict no goals from him. He did take some long shots throughout the season when he did get some playing time, but we got no goals from him.
I was hard for one of them to go in. Just one.
I did. I wanted him to get the 1. He hit the crossbar, I think, once. I think he hit the post. I wanted him to get 1. Silky Ilkay Gundogan, we predicted 10 goals. At the time, he'd registered 3. To date, to close the season, he gave us 8. Look at that. Man gave us 8 goals. We know what we're doing here on this channel, man. I have to say it. We know what we're doing here. As I say that, then I get back to Jack Grealish when I say we know what we're doing on this channel. We predicted 8 goals for Jack. We predicted 8. At the time, he'd given us 3. He's given us 5 goals. He's given us 4 assists at the time. He's up to 7. Oh, and let me respect Ilkay. He gave us 4. Not bad. And you know what? I remember Klilnical. I don't know if you remember. I can't remember which game it was, but Jack could have easily kicked like an open netter, but he squared it to Holland. Holland got the goal, so we could take away 1 assist and make it 6 and give him 6 goals. But it is what it is. Jack did his thing,
I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. But we'll leave it at that. Jack gave us 5 goals, 7 assists this year. Rodri, we predicted 6 goals. Rodri gave us 2, and he's given us 6 assists. Kevin De Bruyne. I'm going to take a hit on this one. Guys. Kevin, we predicted. I'm going to say we. I'm not saying I. I'm going to say we. We predicted 13 goals. He gave us 7. He gave us 7 goals. And, why did I do that? That was 13. My bad. He gave us 7. And assist to date, he gave us 16. 3 more from the last time we did that. Bernardo Silva. We predicted 8 goals for this guy. He gave us 4 and 5 assists. A lot of his contribution has been outside of league play. Honestly, he's put in those hard miles, those hard kilometers within league play. Didn't quite result in goals and assists, but you know that he did his thing within those cup runs. Silva's been fantastic. A man, Phil Foden. Injury-plagued season. Appendicitis, ankle. He got his body right. Hopefully he's back healthy. He played in the last game against Brentford. He gave us 10 goals at the time. It's 11 now. Or sorry, what am I doing? We predicted 10. My man gave us 11 injured. We predicted 10. And he got 5 assists. Look what we're doing here. Cole Palmer, he just needs more time, man. I like what I see from him. Klilnical. I don't think he can play in the midfield. I think he can adapt his game. I think I'm okay with his pace. I'm okay with his pace. He's got that trickery. I think he's a wing player. I think he's
So
playing out.
from what I've seen watching him in the academy, he's played majority of his games off the right. But when you watch that team, it's very similar to what Pep does with our team in the fact that he likes versatile players, and you see that even down in our younger teams. So you would
Mm,
see a Cole Palmer sometimes in the same game switch over to the left. He might be drifting into the middle, and he might swap places with the striker who's playing there, or swap places with a McAtee and play that
hmm
position. So he'll move around, and that tells me that he's comfortable playing in multiple different positions. So
Okay.
I think Pep was just experimenting with him a little bit this season.
Yeah.
If we're gonna rotate the team, I think he'd still prefer to put Foden on the wing as a more direct player than Cole Palmer and have Cole Palmer get his minutes in the midfield. But I don't
Okay.
think he'll be a midfield player,
Yeah.
even if
He's.
he is on the cap. I don't see it.
I don't see it either. He's tall. I mean, obviously he's going to get stronger, but I think how he looks to be most comfortable and what he likes to do with the ball, and the way he scans, I think he's more out. He's more of a wing player. He's more outside on the edge there. But we predicted 2 goals from Cole Palmer. He didn't give us any goals within the league play. I think he had scored in some of the cup runs, but he did give us 1 registered assist. So there we go. Um, Erling Holland, the striking Viking, and I'm gonna get to the comments. I'm just gonna finish up with these numbers. Erling Holland gave us, or sorry, we predicted 30 goals. We predicted 30 goals from Erling Holland. Um, the man gave us 36. The man, the man gave us. Why am I? Why do I keep changing it? We predicted 30. The man gave us 36. And at the time when I last updated this, he had 28 goals. I know I was covering it up, but he gave us 28 goals. Let me move this higher. Absolutely ridiculous. 38 goals. And you know how many assists he gave us? He's given us 8. 8. Not only does he score goals, he's creating. He's a creative goal scorer. All right, let's throw out a new term. He's a creative goal scorer. He's a creative record-setting goal scorer. Never seen before in the league. We've never seen this level of goal scoring and creativity like this in the league. We've
But
never seen.
apparently Harry Kane had a better year than him. But hey,
Uh, those are salty haters. Salty haters. Um, my man gave us 36 off of 30 predicted, 8 assists. Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez. Did I pass him already? Julian Alvarez. We predicted 10. We predicted 10. He gave us 9. Okay. Okay. No assists. I think his assists are all in cup runs as well. Um, Riyad Mahrez. We predicted 7 for Riyad. We predicted 7. He gave us 5. Okay. He gave us 5. And he gave us 10 assists. Okay. All right. 15 GA. That's good. That's good considering. Um, and let me go back to my man Akanji and Gomez because we predicted some assists from them. Let's see here. Akanji, no goals. And who else did I say? Sergio Gomez. Sergio Gomez. Did Sergio give us anything? Where the heck is Sergio? Oh, Sergio Gomez. He gave us an assist. All right, he gave us an assist. Did Akanji not? Why did I think Akanji scored in the league? Damn, that's a cup. Those are cup runs as well. Wow. All right. Okay. So I'm missing goals, but I believe those are own goals. Okay, because the tally takes it to 92. I think there's 2 own goals out there somewhere. But the fact that we predicted 120 early in the year because of what we saw, we got down to 94. And I think a lot of that was, you know what, the league's in control. We kind of played out some games after Arsenal fell off. But let's be excited, City fans. We did 99 goals, no striker last year. Conceded less goals, more clean sheets. Obviously, it took a while to, find that pattern of play. We now have a striker next year. We know how teams are probably going to approach us out of fear of that striker. We're going to have a better scoring year next year than we did this year. I don't think it's going to be in bunches like what Holland did. Why am I even talking like that? You know what? Let me wait. Clinical, I'm gonna wait. We're not doing this. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Let me get to the comments because I know I missed a few, and you guys probably were putting me in my place with some of these talks. So isn't every game so be realistic? Oh, I think FIFA's talking about taking one game at a time. We haven't conceded a single goal in the FA Cup. Charlie, I'm with you on that one. Let me adjust this screen too because this isn't looking the best here. Let me turn this off. And let me put that back. And I'm going to want to put up, where's my formation maker? Okay, let me put that on screen. Yeah. And I didn't even do any transitions either. That's fine. FIFA. It will be Ederson, Ake, Diaz. You got Ake twice. Edison, Ake, Diaz, Ake, Walker, KDB, Rodri, Silva, Foden, Holland, Mahrez is a realistic for. No, listen. This 11, we could go through all kind of possibilities, all kinds of variations. But at the end of the day, it's all calm, all calm. I selfishly want Ederson. Clinical said, you know what? Whether it's Edison or Ortega, even with Ortega, there's trust, confidence there. I'm with you. I'm with you. These platinums right here. I'm with you. Calm. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. Abdallah, the attack needs to be clinical.
I 100% agree.
Yeah,
It needs to be me.
and Abdallah, I think the attack is going to put in so much worry defensively. And I'm gonna say this again: if the ref allows Holland to be guarded, to be defended like he's Shaq, I'm gonna have a problem. I'm going to have a problem. I don't want over physicality against a player like Holland. A foul is a foul. I don't you can't pull his jersey and he pulls your jersey back and you're disallowing a goal. I don't want any of that moving forward in this derby coming up. I'm going to tell you that right from jump. We got my man Pitch Points Gundalorian in the building. How you doing, man?
I'm well. I'm well.
Nice. I happen to do a quick review with regards to 2022/23 versus 2022/21. And it was surprising because we scored 99 goals last year. We scored 94 goals this year in the league. We suffered two more losses this season than we did last season. And we didn't have as many clean sheets, and we happened to concede more goals this year. So but I was also, this is a year where we are figuring it out with.
No, it's not. It's not about that, brother. It's not about that. No, it's not about that. No. Listen, Arsenal have been magnificent this year. Who was there last year? Liverpool. Newcastle have been great this year. Brighton have been great this year. Even United have been better this year than they were last year. Come on, guys.
You think the competition raised their level? That's why we didn't have
Chelsea and Liverpool. Everybody's been better this year. Everybody's, apart from Chelsea and Liverpool at the tail end of the season were better. Everybody's been better. I mean, it's and this argument that Haaland came in, you didn't score as many goals, you lost more games. Yeah, because the competition stepped up. Brentford beat us twice. Last year we beat them twice. Brighton took what? Took 2 points off us at home.
Yeah.
We beat them last year. Come on, Newcastle improved.
All right, I see where you're going there. This, and again, the reason why I kind of fell back on this one is because I didn't want to get into the comparisons just yet. I wanted to kind of highlight it, but it's something to really, focus on as we maybe look at transfer windows and we reflect on the season. But we're not reflecting now. We're, unlike many other clubs, our season is not over. We're not reflecting. We're not looking at we're not looking at best performance of the season, player ratings. No, we don't have that luxury. We're still in the season right now. So that reflective stuff we'll do at another time. We got 2 weeks before we do that. But I just want to kind of highlight that real quick. Oh my goodness. My screen just went off.
Frozen.
Can you guys still hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me though? Okay.
You're still frozen.
I'm still frozen. Yeah, man. OBS just okay. I gotta bring back OBS. It just crashed on me.
I'll go on mute until you're back.
Okay. I'm going to continue talking. Thank you for your patience. Hopefully that did not mess up the stream. It's just a matter of my camera being off. Let me run back this program as it loads. And we're going to get into our man with the golden boot. We're going to have to address that. Let me remind me later. Close. Move this over here, I think. And let me open this up. Okay. All right, we are back. Thank you for your patience. But let me take off this. Let me take this off and let me put back. Why is that the case? My bad. There we go. Okay. But I want to talk about this man in particular. And let me also address some of these comments because I know I fell behind. Charlie goes, no. When was there 2 Akes in this? Charlie's messing with him. Yeah, no jokes. Okay. Goat goes, let's start again. Okay, he goes, let's start again. He wants Ederson, Ake, Diaz, Stones. Ederson, Ake, Diaz, Stones, Walker. Okay. Rodri, KDB, Silva. Okay. Foden, Holland, Mahrez. What? You want Foden, Holland, and Mahrez, so you're dropping Gundogan and Grealish. Huh. All right. Interesting. We won't get into it, but interesting. Daniel goes, I honestly can't wait for both games. It's massive. We worked so hard for this opportunity. Flame emoji, prayer emoji, and it looks like a peaceful calmness. Listen, this is what we play for. This is why this winning culture is so important. This is why whatever stage of life you're in, whether you're young, young adult or young teen, whether you're older, let me say, whether you're older, kids, grandkids, whatever fan you are, it's these are the competitions that you get amped up and excited for. Not every club gets to have their team competing not only to win a league or to win an FA Cup in that same year, to also then move on to competing in the Champions League. These aren't everyday, happen on the regular moments. So honestly, live this up. These are massive times. DC goes, Arsenal. What does he want to say? So Marsenal? Are they Scamarsenal? They crumbled like a stale shortbread. It's been a while, DC. It's been a while. They weren't ready for the fight. They weren't. They thought they were. They got out early. They weren't ready for it. FIFA, the trophy wasn't in the store on Monday. Ali says FIFA, the trophy wasn't in the store on Monday. What's he referring to?
There's a new Manchester store in the middle of Manchester. I believe it's in the Arndale. It's a shopping center. I've been there. It's really nice. And that new store had a trophy, and it was.
Oh, they had the trophy on display.
And they took it away after a while. Yeah, it's a new shop, the club shop.
All right. Ali, I edited it in the description. I found out after I went, and it was for 1 week only. Okay, so you get a chance to pose with the trophy and take.
I love
nice.
That way. It's really nice.
I like it. Oh man, that would have been sweet. You know what? Do you think they would travel with the trophy on their preseason tour?
They sent the trophy around the whole world a year or two ago when we did the quadruple.
Mm-hmm.
When we did the
Formidables.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They sent it. It came to LA. It came over here to DC. Went to Australia. Went to Abu Dhabi. Went around the whole world.
Nice.
They have many versions of that trophy, by the way. It's not just one that goes around. So they have.
Yeah. It's not like the Olympic torch where it's actually just one that gets transported around. Charlie's laughing. Julian in the building. G Thang bet. Yo, Julian got it. Creeping in, I'm creeping in, I'm creeping. Yeah, you got it, my guy. Julian got that. Ali, FIFA. I tried to see it last Wednesday, but I couldn't find any parking. Oh, mans are trying to. Yo, that's hype. That's hype for you guys being able to do that. Much love there. Daniel, can we stop this nonsense of Bernardo Silva leaving? Can someone tell me from where Barca will find the 75 mil
This is
we asked
facts.
for?
This is facts.
He's not going to PSG.
This
He
is
wants
facts.
to play in Spain or Portugal because of lifestyle. No, Daniel, I'm with you. The way I speak with regards to Bernardo, that he may go is that's just me protecting my heart. That's me just being like he may go.
He's not going anywhere. He's not going to go.
Yeah.
They're going to give him what he wants.
I hope so. I hope so.
I mean,
because what he does isn't on the traditional stat line.
And my good friend Martin, we talked about it last night, and I do understand Martin's perspective that his misses. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you how I get over the misses. You want to know how I get over the misses?
Ooh, peep game. All right, Klilnical, sit up. Peep game from Gundo.
You know how you get over the misses issue? Making an offer you can't refuse. You're telling me if they offer him big bucks, I'm talking mega bucks, that some lady is going to say, nah, I want to go back to Barcelona because I like the sun. When you know in 3 years' time you can make some serious cash. Give him 350. Give him 350. What does he make right now? 180? Give him 350.
Give him 350.
Give him 350. How much would Bernardo cost on the market today? We're talking what, 80, 90, 100?
Yeah, 80, 85.
You already have him in the books. Give him 350. What's he making right now? 160, 170? Double his wages. And add another 20%.
All right. You know what, Daniel? This is definitely
Make him an offer he cannot refuse. It kills the argument with the missus. He goes to his missus and say, honey, guess what? I'm making 150 right now. City want to give me 350. She's gonna say, take it right now. What are you talking about? If she says, nah, guess what? Buy a diamond ring, a big fat diamond ring.
Okay. All right. We're gonna stop it right there. We're not.
I'm serious, Vader. What are you talking about here? I'm very serious.
But aren't there things more important than money? Like you know what I mean? Like
what? Talk to me, bro. Talk to me. Someone talk to me, please. Who's there? Is that Martin?
Clinical's here.
Clinical, talk to me. Because if he's making 150 right now.
Yeah.
He spent 7 years. He's in the best team in the whole world. Yes, he's in Manchester. There isn't much sun. I get that. Fine. Okay?
Yeah.
I get it, right? You can go on a free to Benfica in 3 years' time. I'm going to give you 350 right now. Salary plus bonuses. Okay?
Okay.
Double your salary. Oh, and by the way, in 2 years' time, you get the testimonial. Oh, and by the way, the fans absolutely adore you. They worship your feet. Where are you going?
Yeah.
Oh, and I make you one of the 5 captains too. Make him an offer he cannot refuse. We talked about it, Vader, for Haaland 2 years ago. Me, you, Martin, Patrick. We said the way to get Haaland is not by talking, I'm Pep Guardiola. No. Make him an offer he cannot refuse.
Yo, Big Morgan in the building. Big Morgan goes, I wish Carl was Bernardo's agent. I hear you, man. You know what? Maybe we need Carl. We need Carl on the board, though. We need Carl, when he's sitting down and he's looking at the players. And
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll tell you what I'll do, right? So at the academy here in the U.S., we have some guys coming from Manchester in the summer to help coach some kids.
Okay.
Right? I'm going to ring the same bell with those guys and say, guys, y'all need to go back to Manchester, right? In a couple of weeks' time and make this argument, guys. I have no shame. I got no shame. Make the argument.
I'm with you.
Look at what Bernardo did against Madrid. He destroyed Madrid.
Yep.
He took Mahrez's spot. He took Alvarez's spot. He took Foden's spot, and he destroyed Madrid and Bayern Munich. What are we talking about here? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Clinical. Go ahead.
I'm with you.
I don't see us giving him that much, though, to be honest. I think if we get him to like 270, 280, I think he would take it. And I think that's the range of offer I think would be reasonable in terms of our wage structure and potential signings in the future. But I don't think we go up to say
I
give
mean,
him a
I'm,
320 offer and then we go up to
I'm being hyperbolic, right?
Yeah. No. That's
Right.
yeah.
right.
We
Yeah,
can.
but I do think there's some fact to what you're saying. Like we give him that type of offer and then um some reassurances alongside that and bonuses like you mentioned. I do think we have a good chance of keeping him because the main reason why he wants to leave is lifestyle and weather related. So if the quality of life for him is what he's seeking to improve, there are other ways to improve that outside of the weather. And
Clinical. The sweetener to the deal is this. Here's a sweetener to the deal, right? We know he loves his Benfica. We know it. We say, do 2 more years, right? You can go to Benfica on a free. We won't ask you to sign a new contract to extend your time. We will let you go on a free to Benfica, but only Benfica.
Right.
That you be 31, 32 years old, okay. Benfica, you want to go to Benfica? We'll make the deal. It's not hard to make.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I mean,
mean those.
Fernandinho went for a free. Aguero went for a free to Barcelona. He wanted to go to Barcelona. They wanted to go
Yeah.
there.
David Silva. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they were all out of contract at that point in time. Right
Yeah,
now,
No. Yeah. But it was but it
that
was also purposely done.
year.
Like they structured those deals so that they were out of contract at those
yeah.
points.
Structure
Right.
the
So
deal to get him out of contract in 2 years' time, or 3 years' time. Let him go to Benfica on a free. Give him a 10-year testimonial. We'll all show up at the Etihad. We'll celebrate him. Bernardo Silva, and we'll move.
yeah. Now
I
I'm
was
with you.
Bernardo Silva at the Etihad when he played for Monaco against City. I was there in the rain. I saw that game. I fell in love with the kid. And when we heard he was
Yeah, he
coming
was
to City,
incredible.
oh my God, I was like, goodness me, what a player.
Yeah. No, he was incredible. Daniel goes, we are signing Kovacic, which is a phenomenal signing in my opinion, but I don't think that necessarily means that Gundo leaves. Apparently Pep wants more midfield depth and Gundo can't play every game. We'll see what the combination is. Daniel, and I don't like getting into the transfer talk, and Gundo kind of knows this for me. I didn't like talking about who might go and who might leave until the season was over. It's just kind of like who I am. But again, if that's one of the players' short list potentially coming through, yeah, we'll get into it, and we go into depth with a lot of that talk on True City Fan and Pitch Point. So let's keep that in mind. Now, I want to stress this, and it's the man where the cursor is right there on the screen, Holland. Well, you see the topic right there on the screen. We just went through the number of goals that were scored throughout the season. This golden boot and debut season from Erling Haaland is miles better, galaxies better than what Mo Salah did. No salt, no shade to you Liverpool fans tuning in, but let's remember this. Mo Salah came in, phenomenal season. All right, record breaking season. He scored it. He scored his goals. He did his thing. But at the end of that season, not only in the domestic cups, but with regards to league play as well as Champions League, there was no hardware attributed to that record-breaking goal-scoring season. And shout out to Luge, Twitter Spaces. She brought this up, and I was 100% on board with what she had to say. You breaking records doesn't mean much if it doesn't then lead to winning. Yeah, as an individual, you do your thing, but it's more importantly for you to find that right mix individually within your squad to contribute to winning. And I think what we've shown and what we pointed out, Holland scoring as many goals, he still had 8 assists. What he's contributed to us, Manchester City, this season is that there's a direct correlation with his record-breaking goal-scoring debut season, year 1 in the Premier League, year 1 under Pep, Manchester City, and it being record-breaking as well as trophy-raising. The fact that Holland broke this record and he showed us his armpits in doing so, it easily eclipsed the debut season and the record-breaking season of Mo Salah. It's just a reality. It's a harsh truth. And I just want to point that out. Let's celebrate our man, Erling Haaland, because this goal-scoring record also resulted in him raising trophies, which is another key differ, dif, different. Oh, why am I struggling? Differentiator. Am I saying that right?
You need some lunch, bro.
I do. I need some water.
Differentiator, brother.
Differentiator. Why am I struggling with that? But it's key. It's key because he separates himself. Clip that for me because I need to go back on that. He separates himself from this man that keeps getting compared to him in Harry Kane. Please, please, all City fans, rivals especially, stop it. I see right through you. Do not compare Erling Haaland to Harry Kane. The mentality is completely different. I don't care if you're just looking at goal scoring or if you're seeing both of them are strikers. I don't care. Physical ability, footballing ability, whatever you want to chalk it up to, you rate the player for everything that they do, physically and mentally. Holland's a different guy. There's a reason why what he does impacts the game in a winning, meaningful way. It has nothing to do with his surrounding players either, because he's played on squads less talented than Manchester City, and he has contributed and delivered the same way. His goals aren't empty.
So
Go
there's a
ahead, Clark.
stat I'm trying to find for you, Vader. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to find it for you. It kills this argument dead on arrival. It
Okay.
compares Holland's goals for the national team versus Harry Kane. It compares Holland's goal in the Champions League at Dortmund versus Harry Kane's. It destroys the argument. There's a guy called, I believe it's Nico on our chat group that created this graphic. I'm
Okay.
going to send it to you. I'm looking for it. I'll send it to you. It's amazing. Just
Nice.
hang on for 2 minutes. I'll get it for you.
And I already have like several points as to why I can kill this argument in its feet right now. And one of the things I've seen people saying about Haaland is that if he was in Spurs' team, he wouldn't do what Kane did. Why not? Can someone tell me why Haaland in Spurs team would not score 25 Premier League goals in his first season? It's like it's the same thing as when people say if you put any ordinary striker in Manchester City, he's going to score 20 league goals. Jesus didn't do it. Aguero golden boot once in his time at Manchester City. And if you're saying that an average striker is going to come into this team and do better than what Aguero achieved, I'm not listening to anything you have to say.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's very disrespectful. It's very disrespectful because it's like they're purposely choosing not to look at the complete player from everything that they do, right? They're just looking at maybe a goal tally, like they're looking at a spreadsheet. I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
So I do have a show coming up after the season to speak about this as well, because I do want to have a little bit of focus on this, because Haaland deserves his respect for what he's done. And a lot of the times with these conversations with Manchester City, I feel like rivals especially just try to find as much as they can to dampen what we've achieved and minimize it, just so they can say, oh, it's not that great. So just like if how they're saying, we have to win the treble, we're favorites for everything. If we get the double, say we get the Premier League and the Champions League, they're gonna say, oh, you should have won the treble anyway.
This is exact Klilnical. You hit the nail on the head. This is exactly why I have been trying to downplay the FA Cup, because if anything happens and the FA have one of their days where they want United to win, because we know how this all goes, right? All of a sudden, the narrative, which the media is spinning up, and they're doing it very clearly, intentionally, to say the treble, treble, treble. Meanwhile, we all know that the one trophy that we need to complete the set is not the FA Cup or the treble, it is the Champions League. Now, don't get me wrong, I want the treble. So I'm going to use it to slap United fans. But if we don't get it, the FA Cup, for whatever reason, bad refereeing, fraud, red card, whatever it is, and we're in the UCL, do not let anybody discourage or disparage the achievement of this team. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one. 100%. Let me shout out Daniel because Daniel goes, talk about it, Carl. All this nonsense that Holland can't do it in a worse team, laughable. Holland literally does the same for his national team and for Dortmund and Moldo. I'm with you, man. Mo goes, Holland also averaged 58 minutes a game compared to 90 minutes Kane. They're also using just Premier League goals when he blows him out the water in the Premier League and all comps. Yeah, facts, facts. Mo goes, Pep needs to unleash 90 minutes Holland next year to silence these silly Kane debates. Mo, I like that. I don't want to get into next year though, but I do like that because I think the trust in Holland and his body and how he's being managed will probably increase next season. They'll probably look to see more games, but at the same time, if it's going to be a matter of us playing in most competitions that lead to the end of the year, load management is going to be an approach applied to many players. Like if the game's controlled, if the game's in like managed, why not take some players off and also give those quote unquote fringe players or players that need to get a run so that they can be trusted later in the season, get them the run. Like what Pep's done managing these players has been brilliant because we now feel comfortable. Like I said earlier, if it's Ake or Akanji being subbed out, I'm cool with it, right? So it's if you get that rotation, man, it's a good thing. We got Beep in the building. Beep goes, I need some really big rings. I need some really nice things. Better be coming with no strings. I see what you did there, Beep. I see what you did there. My guy. My guy. And if you know the reference, hit that up. You know, we're dropping some hip hop classics out here. Now, we dealt with the Golden Boot. We talked about winning culture throughout the show. We talked about this a little bit on CIA, and I'm not going to be too long on it, but all finals are big games. And we know that FA Cup final means different things to different fans as well as the Champions League. But I'm a firm believer, having been an athlete myself, clinical top the athlete that he competed in high levels, and we know Gundelorian, my man's dealing with these competitive kids and the stress and the competitiveness as a coach. I think it's hard to turn it on, turn it off. And I think from a fan standpoint, for the purity of the game, for the respect of the game, I think these players themselves, with the importance of knowing that this doesn't happen every time, I think this winning culture carries over to this FA Cup. And we should all be, some of you I know don't wait as much, but I think everyone's going to be amped up to watch our team play to their level. And it's going to be an exciting final, regardless of it being Manchester United.
Yeah.
It's going to be an exciting final.
There's a word that you mentioned, Vader, right now. You said play to their level.
Yeah.
That's the objective word. If they play to their level, they blow United away. If they score 6-3. The question becomes, are they motivated to play to that level, given the fact that a week afterwards you have this bigger game that's in Istanbul? And are people going to be shy of, putting a tackle in because you have that big game in Istanbul?
Yeah.
Because you
And
have 7 days, there's not
Yeah.
enough recovery time in 7 days if you get an injury, right? That's
human nature. We saw this. Let's all hold our hands up and recognize that last game before the World Cup, that Brentford game, some players weren't going into those 50-50s,
Yeah.
the same kind of, and it's human nature. You can't ignore that. So hopefully maybe Pep manages that with who he chooses to start versus maybe who he chooses to sub on. I don't know. I'm just confident with whoever he chooses to play with regards to that, because he knows what he's going to have planned for the FA Cup as well as a week later for Champions League. So let's all as fans be like, Pep, that's the 11 you chose. Cool. You're probably subbing some players off or looking to sub some players on based off of the players playing at their level. So we're going to be all right. Oh, Manchester Blue goes, the referee will try and screw us again. The rag versus the Rags. I'll be at the game, so hopefully we can win with a bang. Bring on the trouble. This Manchester Blue. This is what we're all hoping for. We play to our level. We put them under the pressure early. We get. What do we love to do? What do we love to do? You know that 5-minute goal or that goal within the first 7 minutes of the game where you're just like, oh, the pattern to play, just we're all over. We get that goal, calmness. That would be absolutely brilliant.
So basically, how we started against Arsenal.
How we started against Arsenal. And so, not to get too into it, because I don't want to steal some of the talking points that I'm definitely going to bring to the preview shows, right? But what we like to do, or let me take that back. What has shown to be effective against us? Let's mention Brighton, right? That isn't how United play. What we like to do when we're against better teams, i.e., Arsenal, Real Madrid, that isn't United's comfort level. They don't like that style of play. So I think there's a lot that's in our favor. We play to how we can play. And I think we get that result, but I'm going to save that for the previews. Carla, I'm not sure if you can see the screen real quick, but this possible 11.
For what?
This is what I have on screen for the FA. Would you?
FA. Okay.
You don't spend too much time on it. You
got me trapped here.
But Klilnical told me I should probably consider Ederson being changed out here of anyone.
Keep Eddie. You need Eddie for the long forward and United, the long balls. I mean, I would just take. I would take out. I would play. I'll take out Grealish and Bernardo. I would play Foden and what's his name, Alvarez.
Okay.
Yeah,
and you put Foden on the left?
I would do Foden left and who played against them again in the FA Cup, the first one? In the league. Who played against them in the league?
Who played United in the FA Cup?
In the league where we played them at home. The front three.
Oh, we had Foden, Holland,
and I think it was Grealish.
And Jack?
Yeah.
I would do those. Yes. I would do those three.
Okay.
For me, I think it's very important for Grealish to start personally because his last start or his last game in general was against Madrid, and that was on the 17th. The UCL final is going to be almost a month away from that. That's the next time he would actually start a game. At that point, I'd be very worried about how he's going into that game.
Who?
Grealish. He's talking about Grealish starting because of the time frame. But see, this is where I get caught up so again, fan hat on, thinking of us versus United.
Do Jack, Foden, and Phil.
Jack Foden.
Yeah, I mean, Klilnical, what do you think about that? I think that's what you need. The same that Batty United.
That was pretty good.
And then Phil on the right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, actually, I like that. Because I think Jack terrorizes Wabasaka, right? And I think Foden makes, who would that be?
It's not even that. It's the rotation between the three.
Malacia and
if you watch the game if you watch the game against United, the last time with the 6-3, not the one at Old Trafford, which is horrible, right?
Yeah.
The 6-3 at home. The key for that, the front was rotation. Those guys were rotating like mad. It was Holland giving the assist. It was Foden giving the assist. It was Jack giving the assist. Yeah. They were in and out of positions, left, right, and center. There was energy. There was dynamism across that front three. They literally tore them apart.
Okay. Now let's move to the midfield. Are we taking out Gundo, putting in Silva? Are we keeping Gundo?
See, my only problem with Gundogan is the fact that his recovery pace in transition is terrible.
Yeah.
He's good at controlling the game, but his recovery pace in transition is horrible. Think about the goal for Brighton. What happens? Gundogan doesn't track his marker. Transition goal. Think about Vinny Jr. at the Bernabeu. What happens? Vinny's running, and he runs past Gundogan, who can't keep up with him.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Not many people can.
You know,
Can't keep up with it. Yeah.
but then he starts behind Gundogan.
I know.
It's like, come on, guy, follow the
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. No, his pace was incredible.
You know?
So maybe a suggestion of Silva, Rodri, and KDB.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah. And Clinical in the back line. Are we going giving Ake another run? That fitness, he got that last game against Brentford. We got him playing again.
Akanji has to play, man, locked outside down. Ake's
Akanji.
I mean, Clinical, what do you think, man? I mean, Akanji has been magnificent left back.
Well, for Ederson, really quick. What I was saying is that I'm not opposed to either one of them starting.
No. I know. Yeah.
One of them start, I'm fine, and I have full faith that they'll get the job done.
You were saying if it was Ortega, you got trust in Ortega. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
Slightly disagree. Slightly.
I know it's not our best in
understand.
terms of how we can distribute and cause them. Because the reason why I like Ederson when he's in the mix is because I see how ineffective a team trying to press us becomes, and how dejected, the striker or the forward is when they tried to close him down. It's just like, he's just gonna spray it around me. Like, why am I even running towards him? So that's why I like him there. I think that the team gets a little more joy with Ortega because that accuracy isn't there. But yeah, again,
put it this way: if Ederson starts, I think that is our best option as goalkeeper. But if Ortega starts, I still don't think we lose the game. That's where I'm. That's why I'm not worried about one of them starting, Carl. Not that Ortega might be a better alternative to Ederson.
I'm cool with that. So, would you guys both agree? Maybe we get a Kanji in here instead of Ake.
With that, for me, I think that is the biggest call of the day in terms of it being very 50-50. Because if Akanji,
you got to make the call. You got to make the call right now.
Ake starts the final. I think Ake has more, based on recent games, considering Ake has Akanji more reason to start the Champions League final than.
The only thing I would say, Clinical, is that Ake has been magnificent this season, right? He's been great for us this season.
Mm-hmm.
But in the biggest of the biggest games, Madrid and Bayern Munich, Akanji, nobody got past him.
Right.
Why would you not start Akanji in another big game where he's demonstrated he can play not just a left back, but across the whole line? And by the way, he's faster than Ake is.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
No, I would agree with that, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
The only thing why I would still consider starting Ake is this is his, in my opinion, last opportunity to start a game for us this season.
That's fair. That's a fair shout. That's a very fair shout.
The level of drop between him and Akanji being at left back is that great for me to say I can't start Ake for this game.
That's a fair shout
for me.
Okay. All right. I mean, we got Mo. Mo says must be Ake. Daniel goes Ortega will start this game. I'm not mad at that. Mo goes Akanji has a mistake in him, and one-off cup games could cost you. Mo, I kind of hear that. But the way these guys, Akanji has played in these most stressed moments, I'm calm with him. I'm real calm with him. So we'll go with 50-50. It could be Akanji, it could be Ake.
If you go back to Mo's comment, right? I think the problem with Mo is that Mo hasn't watched enough of Akanji over time to see his evolution from the beginning when he joined us to where he is right now. You don't get to play at Madrid twice against Benzema, Vinicius Jr., and Rodrigo twice.
How many games has he started this season?
And then
it's not even that. It's the fact that he's playing on the left side of the pitch.
He started almost all our games, right?
Exactly.
And then
Pep has trusted this guy from day one.
Right. And then if you watch the game against Bayern Munich away, Ake was struggling against Koeman on that right side. They actually targeted him. They really targeted him on that side because they overloaded that side, and he struggled a lot until he got some help. Now, I'm not saying Ake hasn't been good, But I just feel like Akanji's in this rhythm that, yes, Akanji has a problem with crosses, right? He has his moments where he can right, but then
My two criticism of Akanji is I feel like sometimes when it's kind of like bundled up or it's like 50-50, I just want him to like be aggressive. Sometimes he kind of it kind of gets slipped through, and it's very rare. It's like once a game. It's not something crazy. But like what Mo mentioned, Mo says, yeah, he's seen plenty of games. And I think at the time, like Carl's saying just now, Mo, he's just saying Akanji and the rhythm that he's in. It's like, do we change that out? Do we sub him? Because obviously Akanji came into that role when Ake fell out. So, you know, I'm 50-50 with it. I'm like, let's see. This is a cup game. Maybe we see a Kanji to see where these up for it, and we know we got a Kanji ready to play. I'm not too sure, but I'm gonna leave Ake right here. We know we got the option for a Kanji. We got Diaz, we got Stones. I think we're consistent there. Consistent there. Laporte's on the bench. We got Walker. We got Rico Lewis on the bench. Um, and yeah, I think we kind of leave it at that. Daniel, I'm with you. Ortega may play there for sure. Abdallah, Akanji's Bozo gene turns up in some games. It hasn't been lately. I mean, early on. I'm gonna remind you if you guys don't remember. Pep literally signed Akanji. We saw his interview, him doing complicated multiplications in seconds in his head, to debuting in the Champions League, not debuting in one game in the Premier League. He got signed and debuted in the Champions League. That's a level of trust with Akanji, and I think he's only gotten better. He's only gotten better. The season's gone on, but this is the possible 11. Couple names can change. I'm gonna be calm with it. I do wanna stress this. If you haven't, hit the sub button. Get that notification, know when I'm live, because at the same time, the channels that I feature on at times, they're all in the description and they jump on this show as well. So we're able to like continue to give you content after content. My show is a little different. I try to flow through things, but we also go in depth. We go in depth with some signings, with some, trust me, what Pitch Points is about to do with regards to Inter and that preview, you're not going to want to miss it. So make sure you're sub to this channel and theirs. On a lighter note, you guys may agree or disagree. I like what I saw from Phillips. I like what I saw from Cole Palmer. And I don't care what you guys have to say. You guys can argue, point out some differences, but I like what I saw. These guys didn't get the run this year. Should they have? We can argue that. Should they have shown more? Pep should have trusted them to play more? Sure. Should Phillips have been fit? Should he have played a better role when gotten subbed on and filling out for Rodri? Yes. But what I saw for the 90 minutes from those two, I'm actually okay. Nah, don't ship you out. Let me see. Show improve next season. I want to see that from Cole Palmer. I want to see that from Phillips. We're not shipping you out. Let's fight for this. And that's where I'm at. Klilnical. Am I bugging? Or are you cool with that? True City fan goes, yes, bro. He's in agreement.
I'm not worried about what you just said. I do agree to an extent. I think Cole Palmer might do better with more consistent game time, so I'd be more open to loaning him out. But if it's the possibility that he will play more if he stays here, then I wouldn't be mad that we keep him. But I don't think he will. I don't think Pep gives him more game time if he stays. So I think it might be better for him to get loaned out. And you know my thoughts on Phillips, which I'm not saying he's had a good season or the best of seasons, but I don't think that is necessarily his fault. And I think it would be slightly unfair on our side to not give him another year to prove himself. And if he then fails to do that, then we can talk about what we need to do in terms of replacements next season. But
Yeah.
for this season, I think that he's done, especially in these last two games, he hasn't been a calamity, or the last three games.
Yeah.
He hasn't been a calamity to where it's like, oh yeah, we cannot use this guy. Definitely not. But
I hear that.
if you're comparing to what Rodri does, it might seem that way. But if we're looking at like, we have no Rodri, this is our next option.
Mm-hmm.
think he can be worked with, and I expect him to improve next season because I've already seen his much higher levels in previous years.
The thing that hurts me a little bit with Phillips is I know he got selected for international play, but this would have been one of those summers. You tell those players, stay in the lab, don't go anywhere, devote yourself, get right, be ready for the start of the next season, and just do what you got to do.
Let me give you the gist about Phillips. Let me tell you exactly what happened to Phillips. Tell you to give the full gist. Think it from Pep's perspective, again from a coaching perspective, right? The club are working with Phillips. Comes in, he's not fit, right? He comes into the club, he's working. He goes to Barcelona, he plays a game, he ruptures his dislocates his shoulder, right? Goes out.
Yeah.
The club now start working with this guy day after day, surgery, working on him, physical therapy, getting him, trying to get to fit, getting him ready. England calls, he goes to the World Cup, doesn't play a single game.
Yeah.
Comes back overweight. Remember the match club, right? I guarantee you the manager was pissed at the fact that Phillips chose to go to a tournament where he knows he's not going to get a game, where he knows he's not going to play, instead of getting his rhythm, staying back with the team to get ready. If he had stayed and got ready for the second half of the season, I guarantee he plays more games because Pep will say, this guy is serious, and invest and play him.
That in itself, I think, is a bit
the same way Jack Grealish had struggles at the start, where the player manager kept playing him and kept believing him till we see the Jackass now. The moment he comes back from the World Cup and he's 2 grams overweight, the manager comes out in a press conference and said he's overweight, he's fat. Pep doesn't do that unless you really F the coop.
Yeah.
And by going to the World Cup to Gareth Southgate and choosing that route, instead of staying back at the Etihad and at the campus and working through your issues and getting fit and learning the game and asking the manager to help you, you go off on this merry-go-round journey to Doha and not play a single game.
Yeah.
Come back overweight, you're toast.
Yeah.
You're toast.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit debatable in my opinion. I don't think England had another option in terms of Phillips in the squad, and I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that he wouldn't have played. I think one injury.
No, but it's not so much clinical. It's not so much the fact that he shouldn't have gone in the hopes of playing.
Shouldn't have gone. He
wasn't fit. No, I got that. But even when you're sent out and you're then with the international team, there's no reason for him to come back heavy.
That's the issue that I have.
That's the biggest problem. As Gunda was mentioning, when you come back heavy, Pep's looking at like you. Well, I can't trust you away from campus. Like you're supposed to, how important this is for you to be ready and fit. And I can't trust you going away and still being professional because he came back. So that's the tough part. He's going to have
let me explain Vader, right? Think about it, right? This guy hasn't played a game since August, right? Went to Barcelona. They trusted you to play in the Camp Nou for this challenge game, which is near and dear to the manager's heart, right? You get an injury, the club starts working on you throughout. We know you're not match fit to play. We all know that because you haven't had a game in 4 months.
Yeah.
You're not match fit. Stay behind, work with the young lads, get fit. You go off on this merry-go-round journey to the World Cup, and you don't play a game. The guy is toast. I'm telling you, he's gone. He doesn't have the mentality to fight in this team.
I'm just in an alternative view.
Killing Sergio Gomez.
Went with that England team, and instead of staying back training with the kids, like you said, went with the England team, trained with that team who would have been aspiring to go win the tournament. He could have come back in a better state than he had left. But it is on him that he came back overweight. That is the point where I'm saying,
Klilnical. England were never going to win the World Cup.
No, but I know, but Carl, players don't leave just because they expect to win. Like they know it's also like I'm a competitor. Like I'm going because I want to play for my country.
Vader, are you fit enough to play in the World Cup? You're not fit enough to play in the World Cup. You know that. We all know that.
But then how does Southgate and his medical staff take the player if they're not?
Because he's a clown.
But I'm saying, even if
Southgate is a
they didn't
clown,
play a part
right?
in England
Think,
winning the tournament,
just
though,
think,
I'm
think
saying
about
this
this later, right?
gotten benefits from going there and being
Southgate invites a player to the World Cup squad who hasn't played a match in 4 months, who just came back from an injury.
Yeah.
To do what exactly? Think about that. Just think about that.
I did think about it. I thought, okay, is this
Southgate is still inviting Maguire to play centre back for England. Maguire
right.
can't get a game for
all right?
United.
Case closed. You won. You won that. You
I
won
mean,
that.
see,
You won that.
I'm a coach, right? These are the decisions that we deal with every single day. My players, right? If somebody has a niggle, my players, I don't play them.
Yeah.
Go rest out. Come and join me on the sideline. We'll coach together. Tell me what you see on the field that I don't see, and they help me. Because I don't want you to get injured again. I don't want you to aggravate it. You're not fit enough. Stay in the sideline with me. Stay with me. Let's talk through this. Let's work. And when they stay in the sideline with me, I build trust with them. I know how they think. I know their fears. They motivate me. I motivate them. To go to the World Cup when you're not fit, you know you're not fit. The manager, listen, Phillips came back and the manager in the press conference, they asked him, he said he's not fit. He's too overweight. Which manager puts his player out like that unless he's upset? He's upset.
Yeah. And again, how Phillips left to go to the international to do his international duty and how he came back speaks volumes to how he approached that season and his professionalism. He is behind the 8 ball. He has got to overdo it to earn back the trust with Pep if he will do it. I mean, he said all the right things, I guess, in the pressers. I heard True City fan and Daniel kind of bring up in the comments, but he's got a lot to prove. And I do think this year you're either showing that you got this or you're out. I don't think he gets another year to show and prove. It's not going to happen. Daniel goes, Patrick, if Pep can't coach Gomez, how do you expect Carl to do it? Oh, these guys are going back and forth with regards to Sergio Gomez and Phillips and stuff. Abdallah goes, Phillips isn't City quality and never will be. Otherwise, the fans need to lower expectations and standards. See, the Abdallah, the never will be is where I kind of get issue with some of the statements, but he wasn't of quality this year, 100%. And we were all stressing over it. We've seen Stones and Gundo play the 6 before Phillips. That can't happen again this upcoming season. But we'll get into that definitely with the transfer window and what's moving forward. I really want to highlight Cole Palmer, Phillips, a little bit of what could happen. He's got a lot to prove in the offseason. True City fan goes, Daniel, Carl will make Gomez world class. Carl don't take no nonsense. Hey, you need that. You need a manager that's gonna be like, you want to be the best.
I would even play Gomez. He's not good enough. I'm sorry, he's not good enough. I mean, we all watched the Brighton game against Brighton. He was terrible. He let that go. They just ran past him like he wasn't there. He's not good enough to play left back. Let's not sugarcoat things. He's not good enough.
All right.
He's just not.
All right. Carl's probably a kid in his team who can defend better than Gomez.
Oh yeah, there is a kid in my team who can defend better than Gomez. I can tell you that for sure. Oh yeah, no doubt.
No doubt.
Abdallah, I'm not being negative. He just can't defend.
Yeah, Abdallah, stop with this Fatty Phillips, man. Stop with that, man. Wait until he leaves before you drop him with those name tags. Lavia, bring back Lavia. That's popular amongst many City fans. Now, I want to say this. Thank you first and foremost to every single person in the comments. You know, every show, first things first, my peoples come first. My peoples, you've been in the comments, my peoples. Features. I get excellent features from Klilnical as well as Gundalorian, Carl, Pitch Points on the show. And I see you, True City fan, in the comments, man, queuing away. Listen, this was a fantastic show. Why Always Me, episode 85. And I won't be doing a preview on this channel. I will make sure I feature on other channels, True City fan, with regards to the FA Cup. So please make sure you support those channels as well. I want to point out FA Cup final, Champions League final. There's going to be a show in between. We're going to do a CIA. We're going to do a Why Always Me before we go into the Champions League. But like Daniel always tells me, First things first, what's in front of us is what we focus on. FA Cup. Don't let any of these rivals try to put any salt, talk down what we're about to achieve. It's all about this winning culture, and we win what's in front of us. And the next game is the FA Cup. Carl, anything you want to shout out? Clinical? Anything you guys want to shout out before we kind of
Yeah,
say
yeah.
hit it?
I want to talk about a few shows that are coming up after the FA Cup in preparation for the Champions League. You will see me, Martin, Patrick, Vader. We're going to be on all our channels back and forth, all of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've spent as a team probably 8 hours or so studying Inter Milan over 23 games of Inter Milan. We've done our homework. And if you want to know what Inter Milan will do, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what we need to do against them, come on the shows next week. We're all going to be on each other's channels. We're going to repeat the same thing over and over again. We've done some dirty homework, boy, on Inter Milan. Every detail, how they build up, where they like to build up, what they do in possession, out of possession, what their favorite ice cream is, what they eat for lunch, what blade of grass they like to run on. Every detail, we've studied that. All right, for Inter Milan. And our conclusion is that we play to our level. Oh, Big Ears Lady comes to us. But
All right.
let's talk about it next week. It'd be fun.
100%. 100%. Daniel goes, we ready. Alarm, fire emoji, bring it on. He's ready for it. Marvin in the building. I've been saying Gomez. Oh, all right. He's talking about Gomez. True City fan goes, the show is on the 8th. Okay. Don't miss it. The show is on the 8th. And obviously, Champions League is played on the 10th. So you're not going to want to miss it. True City fan also goes on to say, we also studied the relationship between Lukaku and Meg the Stallion. Okay. So the importance of, I'm with you, True City fan. I understand. Daniel goes, she is beautiful. Her big ears are beautiful. You know what I mean. I'm assuming Daniel is speaking of the UCL trophy and not Meg the Stallion. I'm with you on that one. Clinical, anything you want to shout out?
So I'm actually going live as right after this. So
Okay.
I said previously I wanted to do a roundup of the Premier League because I had to take a little hiatus. I went took a trip down to Atlanta and celebrated with the Blues, lifting the
Okay.
trophy in the pub down there. So I'll do a small roundup and preview for the FA Cup right as soon as this is over.
All right. All right.
Maybe
So
a shorter one, maybe 30 minutes, 45 max.
okay. So this is what I'm saying. I'm shutting this down right now. It's 2:59 my time locally. But I'm gonna shut this down. You guys go right over to Clinical's channel. His channel details are in the description right now. Go and show him that love. I'll be in the comments as well. I want to thank each and every one of you for being on Why Always Me, Vader Games TV, episode 85. And thank you so much. Carl, Clinical. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys.
Yep. Thanks for having me, man.